If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. My friends, it's all about your dedication to your craft. Will you spend 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, no matter how long it takes? And I tell you, once you master the charts, it will make up for all the time you ever even thought about spending. So jump into it each and every day. But if you don't do it each and every day, you're not going to learn this haphazardly. And anybody who tells you there's magic little secrets that you can just take somebody's course, do something, and it all comes, they're not telling you the truth. You've got to do this day in and day out because the market is a dynamic thing. It's billions of inputs, millions of people involved, all sorts of transactions. You can't simply come up with one thing that will work all the time. That's why you've got to learn the nuances of this. That's why it's so beautiful and takes work. Let's jump into these charts. Stocks and bonds up for the day, gold and Bitcoin down. Now let's look at where we are on the S&P. Interesting, the S&P has stalled here. We can see where when we had this above average volume back on the week beginning the 12th of June, we saw where it most recently peaked, and we have things just sort of dying on the vine right here. Now, doesn't mean it's not going to take off again. We saw this before. We saw it get less and less and less and then sprint ahead. Don't know if that's going to happen again. It could, but if you notice the volume, we did have average volume around here. Then it started to fall off on this doji, and then it turned around and started moving up again. Now we've had peak volume with this high. And again, if you look here, we didn't have any kind of peak volume. We had a little bit higher volume right here, not much higher. Here, substantially higher. So again, we'll see. It's going to have to happen. And at some point, what goes up comes down. When it does happen, we'll be ready for it. We are looking in anticipation of it possibly happening. So keep your eye on things. We can see prices sitting right there on, and this is the Tuesday, Wednesday, 2-day candle in the middle where you see the little hand, little finger pointing, and it is sitting right there on the weekly trend line, just above it, just sliding up it on the half day. So we'll wait, watch, and see. And again, only up 0.05%, 0.5%. How about the NASDAQ 100? Very similar, up just a little bit, 0.20%. And what do we see going on there? Again, on the weekly trend line, sitting there on the 2-day. Got a doji there, a red one. And again, still just barely green. We can see the high volume topping out 2 weeks ago. Same kind of just sliding up on the half day. So we'll pay attention. If it does roll over, we'll be ready. Now, let's look at what's up with bonds. Up again for the day, slowly but surely trying to push up after that Friday, Monday. We saw where, this is the 2-day candle, we saw where it was a decent candle. We're back like we were before to a spinning top. So we'll keep our eye on things, but it is, not a great trend line. It's pretty flat. I realize that. But up for the day, 0.43%, decently above the weekly trend line on both the 2-day and the half day. So again, we can see indecision in the morning popping up in the afternoon. So we'll just keep our eye on things and see where stuff keeps going. That is where we are on bonds. Let's go to gold. Gold continuing down, which is what we want to see. We're short on gold right now. We can see on the 2-day chart, nicely below the weekly trend line. Same on the half day. Down more in the morning, I guess, recovering a little bit in the afternoon, but still down 0.23%. That's nice. I think what we will do is we will go ahead and adjust. See what we can do here. I think we'll just go ahead and we will adjust our trend line to keep it tighter. I like to have it tighter so that when it bounces through, if and when it does, we're not way back here somewhere and lose more than we need to in our gain. So we'll keep an eye on things. Okay, Let's move on to Bitcoin. We can see that Bitcoin is not hitting the high yet. It hit last week of 31.22. So far this week, 30.82, not too far off, of course, but as we look at things down for the day, 2.07%, we can see again where things peaked on Friday and since then been rolling down on that half-day chart. We can see where things again peaked that Friday, Monday candle and the Tuesday, Wednesday smaller. So again, now that it's flipped over, we do want to see it continue to move up because we want Bitcoin at some point to become trackable. And of course, as of late, not been very good to us as far. If you look at this crappy chart compared to something like the S&P 500 that goes from green to red to green to red, that gives you time to be able to jump in on most, if not all, of these trades and capture a decent profit before it goes back in the other direction. Of course, we haven't been seeing that with Bitcoin very much in all of this variability, where it pops up, then goes red, then pops up, then goes red, then pops up. I mean, again, nothing like that smooth flow we see on something like the S&P 500. That is where we are, folks. Thank you so much for being with us. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Please be sure to like, subscribe to our YouTube, and particularly subscribe to chartingwealth.com, where every day you get the email, not only with these videos, but also with all sorts of great information there and our training videos every day that we send out to you. So lots of value for free. God bless, my friends. All the best.